Hey creatives, are you struggling to bring your design ideas to life? Do you need minis printed for your next campaign? Red's PCs and Prints is your solution. They specialize in additive manufacturing, making anything from intricate cosplay details to massive display pieces. Their expert CAD and design services ensure your vision is perfectly crafted with precision and quality you can trust. Visit Red's PCs and Prints and let them bring your imagination into reality. Check out Linktree slash Pile of Redstone for more information and tell them that Shelly sent you. Hello and welcome back to After the Table, a TTRPG podcast. 'Tis I, your recovering Starkid fanatic, Shelly Von Miller here. I used to be a Starkid fan. Did you know that? You probably didn't. Speaking of Starkid fans, this episode's guest is a founding member of Tales Guild, Nerd About Town, and an award-nominated D&D player. Welcome to the table, Abbigail the Nerd. Hello!
Yeah, my name is Abbigail, also known as Abbigail the Nerd, and I use she, her pronouns.
So I a little bit, Abigail, whenever I was doing my intro, was like, I'm wearing Starkid merch here. I like I said, I'm a recovering, I say recovering, I'm a millennial, so that means
the older era of Starkid.
The older era of Starkid, and the show that started it all.
Ah, yes.
That of the property that we don't talk about on this podcast because fuck turfs.
Yeah, they don't even talk about it anymore.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
Ooh.
please don't. Yeah. DC's not here anymore, guys. Let's move on. But okay, so as a very outspoken Starkid fan, how did you find out about Starkid? What's the life been like?
Oh my goodness. So I think it was like 5 years ago. I think it was during peak 2020.
Peak COVID.
Peak COVID.
So it's just like, God.
In need of latching on to something. And my best friends were like, hey, you need to watch The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, because they like kept making references and stuff. And like, just watch Starkid. Just watch Starkid. So I was like, okay. And I kept getting recommendations on YouTube for the Twisted musical. And so I was like, yeah, I'll watch that. And so I watched that and was like, okay. And then the next recommendation was Black Friday. And so I watched Black Friday and was like, guys, I'm so confused. And they were like, that's because it's a sequel. You need to watch The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals. So then I watched The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals. And the whole lore of Hatchetfield and like the deep lore and the side characters and the Easter eggs and the secret riffs they put in the show, like I just dove into it head first. And so recently got the opportunity to go see The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals live, and that was so incredible, and it made me realize I know too much about Hatchetfield, because everything they changed, I'd be like, that's from that thing, that's a reference to that, oh my gosh.
You're like, I know that. You're Leo in that meme.
Literally everything. There'd be like a little background music from another show that wasn't there before, and just be like,
oh. I know
this.
I know. I'm assuming you. Speaking of the property that we don't talk about, that we will not name, have you seen it?
I have seen.
Okay.
I think I've seen every Starkid show except for the second one that they made, which is where I believe Joey Richter plays himself in it.
Is that the one where spoilers, I guess. I think it's the one where, is it the masturbation one?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I was like, I think that's the second play, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's the masturbation one. And I'm like,
I have no interest.
Yeah, nobody should. I watched it and I was like, I don't want to watch this. I think this is what got me off Starkid, was that one, because I had watched all the originals, and then I watched that and I was like, no, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah.
Whenever Darren Criss got on Glee, I was like, oh, good for him. Good for him.
Now he's
when I saw other people who were part of the cast elsewhere, I was like, oh, good for them. Outside of that, I was like, I'm good. I'm not gonna watch these anymore. I saw a masturbation play. I'm fine.
Now they do their own shows, and I really love that. The original shows they're doing are so good.
Yeah, that's great. I love the fact that they've evolved.
Oh yeah.
And that they're still going.
They're going strong. I think The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals Reprised was the most successful live performance Kickstarter of all time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. This new era is so good.
I didn't even know it kickstarted.
Yeah, all their shows are Kickstarters, so they don't have to rely on extra funding.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. But okay, let's plays and Starkid aside.
Yeah.
You are you're a nerd about town. It's in your name. How did you get into TTRPGs? Were you that nerdy before, like in your teen years and in the younger nerd years, or is it like a new development? What's your nerdy backstory?
Yeah. So I've always been very like bookish. Like I was that kid where like my parents would be like, she's 3rd grade reading at a 6th grade level. Oh, her AR points are super high. She's in the Millionaire Club where you read a million words, like all that stuff. So I was very like academically nerdy, very invested in school. And I guess like as a kid I was really like into like the Barbie movies and Disney, so like very like childish kind of nerdy things. But in high school I really delved into like Star Wars and Marvel and BBC's Sherlock. And like Once Upon a Time, like those kinds of things. And like really gone into that. But I was a theater kid, so I did community theater through our county office of education from like 3rd grade all through high school. And people would talk about their D&D characters and like be like, oh yeah, my character died, and I'd be like, oh, what a bummer. Like, get better at the game, I guess. I don't know. Like, and for me, for some reason, like D&D was kind of like my line of being like, I don't want to do that. Like, I just didn't have any interest in it, but I liked that my friends were having fun. And then I had like, I have, he's okay. I have an older cousin who, he's always been like the cool older cousin in the family, like where you just want to hang out. And so if like Pokemon Go, I'd be like, oh yeah, I want to play Pokemon Go, and download the app and be like, let's go play, you know. And one day we were having a family gathering and he was going to leave early to go play Dungeons and Dragons with some people from theater. And he was like, we can make you a character and we'll roll a character for you. And rolled a character, lots of 18s, and he was like, this is crazy. And I'd be like, that's so cool. Nice. And I built my Skyrim character for my first one. And we went and we played the game and my character died immediately. And then we played another one shot afterwards. And I was like, cool, that was super cool. And I went home and was like, not for me. This is not for me. Like, but that was fun. And one of my friends from theater who had like graduated out of the program, when I had graduated, was like, hey, so I heard that you played D&D. And I was like, yeah, I played it once. And he goes, so when are you going to join my campaign? And I was like, oh, you know, like it literally like fell into my lap. Like when people are like, I can't find a game to play, like I literally, it just happened. And so I was like, can I just bring in, like, I don't want to make another character. So can I just bring in this character that I played for this one shot? She's level 5. And he was like, yeah, we'll level her up to where this campaign is. And yeah, just join in. And yeah, I joined in. I played with that group for 6 years. And it evolved into entering the TTRPG space during COVID when a lot of people joined. and playing online games and just going from there.
That's amazing. Do you think that character died because they're like, she has a bunch of 18s? No.
No,
No.
I think
Too powerful.
I think she was level 5 and the group was level 9. And we
Oh.
fought a necromancer, and the necromancer like killed her, and I didn't know how to cast spells, so I just went in with like, I think she had a flame tongue dagger, and so I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna stab. I was a druid. I'm gonna stab this guy with my flame tongue dagger over and over. Um, and so her dying by a necromancer got incorporated in her backstory, where instead she defeated a necromancer that was trying to take over her village, and her village was like, no magic. Super original story, I know, but
Dead person? No.
no.
You did magic? No.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I think it's the folk hero. I think it's one of the things you can roll for in their background, and I think that's what I did. It was
that
like,
makes sense.
Magic made your village shun you or something, and I was like, cool.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, the folk hero background is always a fun time. But you said that you joined the TTRPG space during COVID, which same. I was just like, I too had that line of like, I'm not that nerdy, and then I was like, MMORPGs, no thank you. D&D, no thank you. And then I turned 30 and I was like, video games, okay. Let me play WoW.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was COVID. I was like, I'm writing and stuff like that. And people were like, you should totally try out D&D. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. So you went in for writing and I went in for acting, because it was like, I did theater again. There's no theater here.
I was doing performance, but I'm a drag and burlesque performer, so I was on the stage. I was like, I'm doing it for tips. I'm not there for the theater, for the thrill of the. I mean, like, there is like a thrill of the audience, but it's more like, it's more immediate as opposed to like building it along the way.
Yeah,
I guess.
for sure.
But yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, I want to try something different. I like story-driven games. Why not? So, what was the? How did you find out about APs though? How did you find out about actual plays?
That was kind of a step-by-step thing of just getting more ingrained in the space, because I was on leave because I worked retail and I was an essential worker, but I am immunocompromised. So they allowed us to take like 30 days off, like take a 30-day leave at the very beginning of lockdown. And so I literally had nothing to do. So I was like scrolling through YouTube and stuff, and there was like D&D TikTok compilations, and I would watch those and be like, man, these are fun. Like, these people seem cool. And so I made my TikTok, and there was something called the Heroes of TikTok that happened, where it was a collaboration between, I think, like 50 creators that I believe Alec the Bard set up. And it was Heroes and Villains of TikTok, and there was supposed to be like a continuous story between like these TikToks made. And it was during that, because that eventually evolved into the Worlds Guild, which was an actual play collective. And that's where I signed up for my first actual play, which is called To the Skies. And it's still going today. And that just really got me into everything of just like, oh, you can play D&D and sometimes people respond to it, or like sometimes people do character art for you. Like, just learning about like the idea of other people becoming invested in your story that you made with this group is really, really special.
That's amazing. I think I probably saw a few of the Heroes of TikTok. I might have. I know I was following some other people who were doing like other story-based TikTok collaborative things.
Oh yeah, like the Fighter Saga was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Fighter Saga stuff.
It's so interesting how lockdown kind of grew this more. I mean, but even before lockdown, there was still a like indie AP space, but like it really blossomed in during COVID because a lot of different people who weren't necessarily in LA or like had connections that way were able to kind of get into the space.
Yeah.
Like I was making content, but I was like, let me put clips of me like doing drag and like gaming and like my other content of like writing blogs and like writing stories. And I, you tell people like, oh yeah, I really want to play like a D&D campaign. And they're like, tell me more. Yeah. I'm always looking for people to play with. And especially during COVID, people were like, I'm bored. Can we make this happen?
Yeah, bored, lonely, and just wanting to tell a story is really what brought the actual play space and like the like D&D TikTok space to life, which then evolved into like Baker Talk and like different actual play talks. Was so cool to see during that time because people longed for that camaraderie, that escapism, and it really delivered during that time.
And it helped establish like a lot of big names in the space now.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like you go to cons and there are people who were, who were doing these types of things in 2020 and now they're like invited guests on, Critical Role shows or like invited guest on panels or anything like that. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's so cool to see that kind of stuff. Like I believe recently like Zach the Bold made it onto Critical Role and just seeing that like and seeing the comments.
That's exactly who I was thinking of. I was like,
and seeing the comments of people.
I know that man.
Seeing the comments of people just being like, "Oh my gosh, it's Zach!" Like it's so cool to be like that. Yeah, that is Zach.
Or even recently, more directly now, like Dice Cream Sandwich.
Yeah, and Dice Times.
And Dice Times all got together and are making this like these different Daggerheart campaigns with like a bunch of different creatives just like who are already established. I mean, like you see Persephone Valentine who has establishment even before COVID, and then like you have people like who are more recent in the TTRPG space like Sky K Fitness,
right?
Who are just like all getting together, telling these stories, and it's like, oh shit, this is the indie is now getting like establishment rights. It's very cool to see. Very cool to see.
And you can see like some big names in not just like the TTRPG space, but like just the online entertainment space right now are getting larger with independent games. Like Dread is becoming so huge because of Smosh and George Primavera, and that they're performing live Dread events with Starkid members and Smosh and George Primavera at like black box theaters and stuff. And it's so cool to see that where it's like live actual play like in person where you can go watch them at like the Dynasty Typewriter is so cool. I wish I could go. That one's tonight.
Oh, that one's tonight. Yeah. I know DesiQuest just did the Dynasty Typewriter.
They did, too. Yeah, Dynasty Typewriter has been really supporting the TTRPG space and independent theater.
That's so cool. I love that. The fact that everybody's like branching out and they're like, yeah, we'll tape it and like we'll record it or it'll be live while we're doing this, but like we're going into our own communities.
Yeah.
And like being like, hey, we can bring an audience. Can you provide a space? And I think that's a really cool thing, not just like in the TTRPG space, but like in the creative space in general, like in the online space, because it's like a lot of people make fun of like the influencers and the YouTubers and things like that. Like it's been a butt of the joke since like YouTube
Oh yeah.
was established. But now it's kind of being taken seriously because a lot of people are making this like their job. Like they're going into acting. And I mean, you look at Jacksepticeye.
Yeah.
He's in the Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
Like, I believe he was in
He was in Free Guy. He was in Free Guy.
Free Guy.
And he'll be in Iron Lung.
And yeah. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, this is so cool.
Yeah,
it's great to see like the difference of like just moving outside of the online space.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't wait to see more. So you have a lot on your plate, by the way. I was just scrolling through your socials. I was like, what? So you're a founding member of the Tales Guild, but you also appear on channels like The Heart is a Dungeon, Roll D5, Don't Kill My Character. Like, the list goes on and on. First, when are you not playing freaking games?
In the mornings, and
You're like, on certain days.
yeah, it's one of those things where you can be like, yeah, I have nine game like long-term games I'm a part of, but there's certain weeks where not all of them get canceled.
Oh yeah.
And so then there will be a week where there's like genuinely nothing. Or there's the thing where it's like all of a sudden all the every other week games or once a month games align in one week, and my family's like, we haven't seen you in days.
Are you okay?
Sometimes.
Have you eaten? Have you showered? Have you slept? No.
1 out of 3. I know.
Yes. And I guess the second question is what is some advice you would give to people who are wanting to kind of push outside their normal gaming group and like get on so many different shows at the same time?
Yes, so I know that like conventions and in person is a great form of networking with people. I will say I've never been to a convention, so all of my networking has been purely online. I was supposed to go to Gen Con last year, but autoimmune flares are great. And so there are accessible ways to network, especially if you're immunocompromised and not like comfortable going out currently. Completely understandable. There's a lot of ways to do it. The best way to get started is to start posting online, like about either your home games, like my home games gain a lot of traction because people are intrigued by them. And make sure your home game is comfortable with that and explicitly wants that first. Or you can do like your little story times about your characters. Just show that you are involved and invested in TTRPGs. And then to enter an actual play space, it's mostly about applying when there's open applications. And from there, like, make yourself known, show up, show that you're like dedicated to what you're doing. Make sure whatever you're in, you're matching the tone. So if you're in a comedy, bring the comedy. If you're in a drama, bring the drama. If you're in something very whimsical or flower punk like The Heart is a Dungeon, then bring the whimsy and the flower punk. It's all about matching the vibes and showing that you are a safe person to work with is the main thing. And a fun person to work with. And then you'll be asked either to return or recommended to other people, because a lot of the time people will come to you and ask, like, even people will come to your GMs and be like, hey, I'm looking to cast something. Do you have any recommendations? And they will give those recommendations and you'll be reached out to, or you can apply. And that's just kind of how it works in the space.
Yeah, it is still a very like who you know,
yes.
Not like who you know, but like a very much like a, yeah, I worked with this person, they're great. Like as long as you show up on time,
yeah,
you're not an asshole, you're not a creep.
Yes. The bar's literally that low, you guys. Like
the bar is in hell.
Like
just be a good fucking person. Yeah. And like you're talking about like networking at cons. Like I didn't start going to cons until last year,
mm-hmm.
and like my first one I had been to like conventions and stuff like that before, but like the first time as a TTRPG performer or like in the TTRPG space, I went to Gen Con and I was not able to network at all because I was working,
Yeah.
because I was running games. Y'all, if you want to network, please just do something else. That is not the way to network. It's a great way to get like your skills out there and like up your skills, especially if you're running a game that you know, or like at least know the rule set of. Like I did World of Darkness games, and I mean it improved my World of Darkness knowledge. But I was just like, every time I saw somebody, I was just like, hey, I have to go, I can't see you, and I like hug, and like I ran away. I didn't get to. LobbyCon is a great way. If you're going to cons, LobbyCon, which is like the after hours, everybody's at a bar, you know, networking and talking and things like that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able to do that. So the next con I went to, which I think was the next TTRPG related one that I went to, because I went to TwitchCon last year, was PAX Unplugged. And then I was just like, oh yeah, that's the con to go to. That if you want to chill, like the difference between Gen Con and PAX Unplugged, night and day.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to do PAX Unplugged. I was going to do it this year, but my dearest friends are getting married that weekend.
Oh,
so
yeah.
No way.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. It's also the weekend of the Philadelphia Marathon.
Yep. Why?
I don't know why. We're doing it that weekend, but we are. But yeah, it's one of those things like, as we're recording this, it's the day before I leave for Gen Con. But I think it's this weekend or sometime soon. There's a thing that a lot of TTRPG people who are either immune compromised or like just don't have the resources or just don't want to go to certain cons started, and it's called FOMOCon, and it's like an all Discord. There's panels, there's like, I'm sure there's probably like co-working things that people are wanting to do. Are you gonna go and do any of that?
I so wish I could. The reason I can't do a convention or anything during this time is because I am very thankful, but I am starting a new job, and so I'm flying out on Sunday, so the day before and the day of I will be quite busy. But FOMOCon is run by really like incredible people. You'll see lots of people from shows like The Hardest Dungeon. So definitely check it out. It's gonna be a lot of fun, it looks like.
I'm kind of, I have FOMO for not being able to go to FOMOCon, because I'm like, I'm gonna be here. Damn it!
Yeah, it looks really fun. I got double FOMO now because I can't do FOMOCon or Gen Con.
You're like, dang. One day. Hopefully FOMOCon
returns.
Happens more.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
That'd be great.
FOMOCon Unplugged. FOMOCon West.
Yes. There we go. FOMOCon every time there's another con.
Yeah, and it just changes
like,
the
it's
name.
FOMOCon West, FOMO Unplugged, FOMO Live, which is just like TwitchCon. FOMO Live.
Live.
Playlist Live, yeah.
FOMCon is just VidCon.
Oh yeah, FOMCon. Yeah, love that. There you go, FOMOCon. you have a list of ideas.
FOMOCon, you've already canonically happened.
There you go. You've already happened. PAX East was in May.
Yeah.
There you go. So because Brains happened, we realized right before we started this that we had actually been in a show together, and it was you were talking about setting tone. I just love the idea that whenever now that I remember it, whenever we all did our session 0, it was like, we just want to be silly little guys
so silly
in Star Wars, right?
Yeah, nothing canon really happening.
Nothing canon. I mean, it's sort of, it was spoilers for this. This was a charity event. Darth Jar Jar.
There's Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar and Darth Amidala happened,
Yeah.
and it's just like, what? And then we had, who was it? It was we had oh god, my brain.
I was a canon character. I was part of Figrin Dan and the Modal Notes. I was a cantina.
Yes, you were part of the cantina, and I don't remember what I did, but I was just like, I almost fell off. I got knocked out and I almost fell off the side of the rail.
That's
I was just like, I was like, well, cool.
We had a hot tub.
That's right. We had a hot tub.
Their airlock was a hot tub room with a disco ball.
I feel like Wes is. I'm still waiting. By the way, Wes, aka Arcane Anthems. I'm still waiting on that song. We're still waiting.
Still waiting.
Still waiting. Year later, still waiting.
Still waiting.
Hello. But I just love the fact that you were talking about setting tone, and it's like one of those things is like at session 0 is when you kind of have to set that tone,
for sure.
Especially in like one shots like that. You're like, how silly are we going to be? How serious are we going to be? What? And I guess this goes into character creation. Like, what does that creation process look like whenever you're like, okay, we're going to be a little bit silly. I got to make this character. Or like we're going for a more serious tone in this like little bit of a mini campaign. Like, how do you take all the information from like a session 0 or even like the idea of like the game itself, or whenever you get picked up as a character?
Yeah.
How does that work for you?
Absolutely. So my character creation definitely varies on what my job is for what I'm being asked to do. Like, if I'm a guest character, I will definitely ask, like, what am I here to do for the party? Like, what plot am I moving forward for them, or what lessons do you want them to learn through this character? Like, and then typically that's very, very collaborative with the GM specifically on what we're gonna do for a guest character. And typically guest characters have like, I'm not gonna write a 2-page backstory for a guest character, because I don't want to get super attached to them, in the sense that I would for like a long-term campaign character, because I don't want to like feel like sad to say goodbye to them. I want it to be more of a bittersweet moment of like a mission accomplished, and time to leave the game with like on like a good note. Same with one-shots. I'm almost never going to write a backstory for a one-shot character. It will be a concept that I'll be playing. But yeah, I'll ask especially for guest spots and one-shots, what's the tone? And then for campaigns, typically a session 0 is more thorough, so you can kind of pick up the tone from the pitch deck that's given, and then we'll go from there. Like in like 2 different Tales Guild games that I'm in, one, the pitch was like, it's going to be heavy exploration. The country you guys are starting in, magic is heavily regulated. And so obviously all of us made magic users because that's fun. But we did go into it immediately knowing like, okay, if this is where we're starting and it's a place where something is heavily regulated, like we can probably go more into like darker, more tragic backstories, especially because the like almost apocalypse happened in this world 100 years ago, which is well within some of the longer lifespans of Dungeons and Dragons and fantasy, like well within their lifetimes. So playing with that a little, then we get pitched another thing, and it's like, hey, Guardians of the Galaxy Spelljammer, and it's like, okay, like I'm gonna make a character that has no redeemable qualities currently, and we'll find those as the campaign goes on. So yeah, character creation for me is very much dependent on what the pitch deck is, what people's safety tools are. Like session 0, like I won't go too deep into a backstory until I find out people's lines and veils, just in case, because even though there's those predetermined like consent sheets, people can fill out their own parts of it. So I want to make sure I'm not going to accidentally put something in there that's a nope, and then if that happens, completely rewrite from there. But yeah, typically session zeros are where I can really figure out where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah, I think that's like I always want to like bring a character with me, but I'm like I don't know. It's I unless it's like, you're already established with these people and you're like, "Oh yeah, I can just bring whatever character."
Yeah.
Um you're kind of like, "Oh, I need to figure out who." I'm more of the what gaps can I fill in,
Yep.
as opposed to like I'm going to play this character, you can't tell me what to do. Like I will be playing this no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm very much a like, all right, or like, for instance, I was in a campaign that I was like a cleric and I was like, I want to change gears. I still want to be like a spellcaster, but I don't want to have like a divine connection anymore. I'm like, let me play a sorcerer my next campaign. Let me be this like not so good person. Let me, whatever, and just fill in the gaps of like what we need and what we will probably need long term wise. Do you think your time in theater has helped with that character creation? And like, to add to that, for those who don't have like a theater background who are in the AP space, what would you suggest, like, not what working on, but like what would you suggest people who don't have that background look towards whenever it comes to like getting more ideas in character creation, in like learning more about the acting side as opposed to the reacting side?
Yeah, absolutely. So a good thing is acting is reacting. So naturally like getting into your character's headspace, as long as it's a safe space to be in, is helpful depending on the moments of like, okay, this is how my character would react instead of it's what my character would do, which is a commonly misused phrase. It's like, how would my character react? And is that something that's productive to the table or not? Because if you think like realistically my character would react like this, but that's not productive to the scene right now, then like it's good to change gears because um the enjoyment of the game for you and the players is more important than what your character would do. But my background in theater definitely helped, especially with like the theater that I grew up in would tell for more serious shows would tell the ensemble to make characters and play as your characters. So like we did like Phantom of the Opera and my sister was in it with me. So we are like, we're sisters. And they would always put us next to each other in like choreo and stuff. So whenever a scene happened where like something scary happens, we would like hold each other and like and so we like established backstories for that. For Les Mis, we made fake families for songs like where the Barricade boys were involved and stuff, so it would make their what happens to them, spoiler alert, it's bad, makes that more impactful because you would see the ensemble interacting with each other in more personal ways. And I think that definitely helped with like creating characters. And then going into like playing D&D where you're making your own characters and stuff, I definitely found that like things that are like method acting is not a good thing to do, especially with characters that you've created, because you can become so ingrained in what they're feeling. And a lot of people, including me, write some very tragic backstories. And so it's called character bleed. You don't want that when it comes to the darker sides of a character, because it can be hard to come out of the game with it feeling safe. And so yeah, there's a lot of facets to it. The main thing is, yeah, don't try certain methods of acting that you're not familiar with or feel like they would meld with a game properly, because definitely like, even in acting, a lot of people, I know that they say some of the best actors do method acting. So do some of the worst ones, you guys. Like, so do some of the most notoriously not fun to work with people do method acting. And it's that's when it stops becoming a game and the lines start getting blurred. And for me, the line for me will always be that these are games. And so, as invested and as awesome as they are, when you're not having as much fun with it, or when the people around you aren't having as much fun with it, it's not a game anymore. So it's definitely like an interesting line of like, I'm a character, I'm something on a piece of paper, like, and while I love this piece of paper and I have a Pinterest board and Spotify playlist of this piece of paper, what really matters is the real people involved and the story you're telling.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. You're kind of like, hey, even if these are like the first time, like in the AP space, a lot of the times it's a lot of people you're meeting for the first time
Yeah.
at the table. You're like, think of it as like going to your grandma's house. Be on your best freaking behavior.
Yes.
Like, you wouldn't be a dick to your grandma,
Yes.
right? Don't be a dick to people you're going to be investing time with, and also like people talk.
Yeah, and there's no way around that in any space. Even in theater,
Yeah.
people my director at the time would be like, whenever people were being rowdy, would be like, I know people on Broadway. I'll talk. I'll tell them. And I'd be like, we're 12. We are 12.
We're 12, get
we're
out of
12
here.
years old.
That's so funny. That's the I know people.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, like it's one of those things. Do you think so? You say you have a home game on top of like all the other games that you play. Let's circle back on that. Tons of games that you play online. You also have a home game that you're part of that I'm assuming is not recorded, correct? You just
No.
like at times you're like picture whatever.
Yeah, sometimes we video it and then the person who I videoed will say, you must post that online. And I'll be like, okay, I'll do that for you.
Right.
It's not for me.
How do you think you come across at that table as opposed to online? Do you have a different way that you approach the storytelling aspect of that? And like character create, not like just character creation, but like, do you think there's like a different way that you act at that table than you do at like online?
For sure. The people that I play with in person are my closest friends in the world, and I'm so lucky to have been able to met them and share a table with them for now 2 completed campaigns. But I do think that the way I approach the table is different, and we have discussed in the past because the DM is a professional GM online, and then I'm a professional player. There have been times where the table has discussed becoming like a podcast or something, and the times we've discussed it, we've decided not to move forward because we like the way we play as we are. And the big thing is like all of us have some form of like ADHD and stuff, so it's a loud table, side convos, side RPs happening, and laughter so loud that it would peak the mic. But I think the way we approach the game we approach it very much as a group because we know each other so well that like I can make a character where I tell the DM, hey, like this character's made to mess with you. Like this character's made to mess with you specifically. Like I'm going to make a menace. And like then the DM will dish it back and be like, ha, your character, I'm going to kill them. Like, you know. So it's very much like almost like a fun antagonistic thing where all of us are messing with each other, but then there's some incredibly heartfelt and sometimes incredibly tragic moments where we're all like crying at the table together. And it's something that's, I think, can become very vulnerable, whereas like in that you're like with people you trust, to be very vulnerable during those times. And it is different because when you're online and not streaming, or when you're online and streaming, it's more of a performance. It's more of like seeing like what beats you want to hit, what story you're trying to tell. Whereas in person you can be like, you just took a character from Undertale and made it our bad guy. Like, you know, like there's some more casualness to it as well as more intensity that I think could translate very well to actual plays, but I don't think is always the best decision because there are certain like dynamics you have to change. Like for us, our fun, what we enjoy doing, the side convos, the sometimes like fake comedically yelling at each other, being like, how could you do this? You know, like that kind of stuff we wouldn't be able to do anymore. And it would take away some of the, I believe, genuineness out of the game we play. Whereas going into an actual play, you're going in with, you know, you're going to be genuine and yourself on there, but there is a level of performance and stuff, and like the character of yourself that you play when you're online, you also put that on. So like for me, I'm very comedic, I'm a klutz, like that kind of stuff, and that kind of is part of what I put on when I go online. Whereas I can go to my friends at my home game and be like, yo, you guys, I just had a rough day. I'm going to order some food and I'm going to sit here and eat sushi with my hands while I watch you guys play your scene out. Like,
Yeah, that's amazing. It's just like, yeah, how about we I love the fact that there was a conversation with your home table that you're like, I don't know.
yeah.
We it sounds great. And I'm having that, I'm probably going to have that conversation with the table that I first DM'd.
Mm-hmm.
Like my first time DMing was also my first time DMing online.
Oh, wow.
Don't recommend that, kids. And I kind of want to go to them and be like, I know y'all are waiting for another campaign. Can we not record this? Can we just play? Because it's one of those things, it's like getting people who want, like, because these people aren't in the AP space. We recorded because we wanted to, like, one, it's a way to have, like, session notes, but also, two, just to, like, have a good time and be, like, online with each other, because that's how we met, was online. But I'm kind of like, I don't want to record this anymore. I kind of just want to be, you know, just a DM.
Yeah.
I just want to tell a story with y'all and have fun and not have to pressure y'all to come online and be like, hey, let's wrap up here. Like, we have 4 hours. Like, we can do whatever. And I think, there is a difference between an online game and a home game, a non-recorded game that you're like, oh, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I can make that big swing and it's not going to come back and haunt me in a in a clip.
Yeah, it's and you don't have to necessarily question like your every decision in a game and stuff. And that helps you kind of be able to stretch your limits in like what characters you can play and what changes you can make to them too. Like I can go to my GM and be like, hey, what if for this, because of the story beat we're in, like I did this recently, was like, what if because of the story beat we're in, she changes subclasses for a period of time while this is happening? And he was like, yeah, of course. And we don't have to be like, oh, but we got to change the overlay and then the character art. Like it can just be like, yeah, just make a copy of a character sheet and change it. Like
I did the same thing. I was just like, I was a different type of cleric, and then I changed at my home game. I changed to a trickery domain because of just a backstory thing that my DM was just like, yeah, and this happened. I'm like, well, then I gotta change it. I gotta change this subclass now. I think I was like a life domain cleric, and then I was just like, nah.
That's a fun change, life domain
trickery. I was like, then I'm taking rogue.
Yes!
Trickery domain and a rogue.
Yes!
Let's do this. I always suggest people take rogue.
Yeah. Rogue is so good for multi-classing. And
it's so good. People are like, Bard. I'm like, no. I don't want to perform. I want to be a rogue. I want to be a little guy that picks locks.
You can do
Let me do my thing.
I have a character that's a performer.
And I can do a bonus action, sneak away.
I have a character that's a performer, but she's a circus ballerina, and so she's a rogue, no bard, but all of her stuff was skilled.
All dex.
Yeah, because she's like, I'm super stealthy because I'm light on my feet.
All dex.
Yep.
No riz.
All dex, no riz.
What do you think makes a good story that you want to tell, and also that you would want to listen to?
Collaboration is definite. Even if the DM has a set world, collaborating on backstories, connections, or like making characters that want to be there for a reason, so that the GM doesn't have to like guide your character into the group at all times and stuff, can create like a natural flow. And there does have to be a genuine enjoyment from the people at the table. Like, you have to be able to tell that they like each other and like playing with each other, in order to want to spend your time watching them. As well as, this is kind of an odd one, but kind of like a little bit of a lack of professionalism in the sense of like not being super into the rules at all times, because if you're pausing to check the rules a bunch and stuff like that can ruin the flow. Sometimes Rule of Cool can really bring in a really special moment that can make the audience be like, oh my gosh, like, whoa, we wouldn't have gotten that if we had followed the rules exactly. So just everyone collaborating on telling the best story that they want to tell. As long as the players and the DM feel fulfilled with it, like, that's what matters. And so that kind of table is enjoying to watch, especially when, like, you know, players that are enjoying it enough that they're like making memes about it, or if they're an artist making artwork about it, or the character playlists, the Pinterest boards, the fan fiction. Like, when there's that genuine investment above table for it, you can see that in the performance. You can see that in the table and how excited they are to play as the DM's doing their recap. Like, just that heavy investment is very like attractive to viewers to watch. I know that's what I look for in games, people that are really excited, that love their characters, and yeah, no matter what system, it's great to see just people looking forward to the game they're playing and that they're sharing it with the world. Is like an honor to be allowed to see that. And there's so many actual plays in the world, like, even if you don't get any viewers, you're still doing what you want to do. You're still playing a game. You still get to reference the recordings later for yourself. You get to grab those clips that you want of your favorite moments. You can make your own fan edits and memes. Like, the viewers that matter are the people at the table. And so even those ones that like do get big, that's super cool. And it can be very intimidating at points. But as long as everyone at the table is telling that collaborative story, that's a good actual play.
I want stories that people, like, the people at the table are invested in, outside of just like recording.
Yeah.
It, like, the recording investment. I want them to be invested in their characters. I sometimes want to see people cry.
Yes.
It's you know, it happens. I want like a genuine reaction. As a reaction person myself at a table, like, I am known at my vampire table to be the reaction person whenever I'm watching scenes, and I'm just like,
same.
Shit.
Same.
It's one of those things, it's like, oh no. Or like, you as the player figure something out as you're listening to the story, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah,
no. You're just, it's one of those things. It's like, I love that type of storytelling. It's like, the people who are invested in it.
Yeah.
I want that. Are there any games that you haven't been able to play, like any game systems that you haven't been able to play that you are like, I want to tell a story in this world. I want to tell a
Oh
story with
yeah.
this system.
Oh yeah. Hunter Hunted. I desperately want to play. I got to play God Killer once. I would absolutely adore being in a campaign for it. Um, those are two systems I want it. Oh, I want it so bad. There's I've had this idea for a Fabula Ultima campaign. I will be starting playing Fabula Ultima soon because I took on another game, you guys. um, but, but that I would love to run where it's like an isekai where everyone's like living their day-to-day lives as their real world characters that they build. And I would like them to dress as that real world character. This would have to be pre-recorded. And then once they go into the fantasy world, I would love them to be PNG tubers of those characters. And then have combat look like it's in the style of a JRPG. So production wise, no idea how I'd do that. But like that's an idea. Gosh, I would love to. In fact, people can steal that idea and do it because I just want to see it out there. Like it just, I think that.
Or just throw some money at this idea. Like,
yeah.
Hello, just hi. Do you want to cover the production cost of this? Are you willing to throw money at this to make it happen?
I just think it'd be fun to see. I love when people mess with their overlays. I think fun overlays are they're fun, unique overlays. God, aside from that, I mean, I wish I could play every game always. Warren Guard is one that I just got the PDF in my email for it. And that's the dragon riding powered by the Apocalypse game. And Aragon is the Inheritance Cycle is my favorite book series of all time. I read it all the time. So if someone ever ran an Aragon Warren Guard game, please call me. I beg.
Cough, cough, hint, hint.
Please. Yeah, those are my top systems right now.
On that, who is at your dream table? Like, who in the space are you wanting to play at a table with, and what game would it be?
Okay, first I'm gonna be sappy and genuine, and then I'll do more like celebrity table. I feel like I have my dream tables right now, like in the games that I'm in, like especially my home game, like my home games, like it's just really special. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. So Abria Iyengar, Brennan Lee Mulligan.
So on to the dream. Is Abria GMing or a player?
I really need Abria to GM, like desperately need Abria to GM, because her GMing makes me want to GM and makes me want to be a better GM when I start doing that. Yeah, Abria, Brennan, Daniela Radford for sure. I think Daniela Radford is one of like the top people like I would want to share a table with, or just share a space with. And then let's see. My brain has done this cool thing where it's forgotten everyone. I would absolutely adore sharing a table with Travis Willingham. His characters are top tier at all times. I would love to see him DM for like I would
he's DMing. Okay, when we're recording this, they've already announced what they're doing. They're going to be in Fort Worth, and he's DMing, and that's his hometown. And I'm like, I bought tickets so fast. I was like, I'm going.
I'm seeing. Yeah, I am going. I did buy ticket. So I will also be there. We should say hi.
Say hi. I'm gonna. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's my table is Abria or Travis DMing Brennan, Danielle Radford, and whoever is not GMing as a player as well.
That would be an interesting. What game system, though?
I want masks. I think that would be fun, playing the superheroes, and with the different identities and all of that, like struggling those struggles, and also those really like minuscule problems that can happen in masks that you get in like every day, like the Janice being like, I'm gonna miss work because I have to go save the world. Like, I think that would be really fun, especially if it was like in the dome or something.
Oh, in the dome would be phenomenal, especially with like the graphics in the background.
Yeah, when someone's flying or explosions, like how they did Never Stop Blowing Up, like those kind of effects would be super fun.
Well, hey, D20, I don't know if you're watching this.
Hey, do you want some weird lore? I was almost on Game Changer last year.
What? No.
So,
What?
this is a you exclusive, okay?
Yes. Oh my god. I'm getting. I might. By the way, not a journalist, but I love getting exclusive information.
So, Game Changer did an open casting call. They were like, hey, do you have like a weird thing? Like, do you have a weird phobia, or like just like a weird thing about you? And are you available to go to LA on these dates? And I'm within driving distance of LA. It's not like, it's like, I'd say a 3.5 hour drive. And so I checked the dates and was like, I mean, yeah, I'm available. Yeah, what's something unique about me? And I started to write down, I have a phobia that's kind of strange. I will not go on an escalator that's going down. And so I was like, I'm going to write that down. And then I was like, wait a minute. I have an autoimmune that only 9 people in the country have been diagnosed with. So backspace, because I forgot that super unique thing about me that affects my everyday life. And typed it in.
It's a thing that you don't have to deal, like, it's in the back of your brain. You're like,
yeah,
escalator going down? No.
Yeah. So I typed that in, submitted it, and like it has you submit a headshot, and like I got a solo photo taken during family photos like a year before. And so I was like, there's my headshot, and put that in. And I got a call from someone on their team who was like, hey, I want to do a phone interview with you, and I want to hear your story. And so I talked with them. They were absolutely lovely. And they brought me forward for the final interview. And they're like, this interview we might use for behind the scenes, so we are going to pay you for this, which was unnecessary and incredibly generous.
Thank you.
Yeah, so good on them for that. I can confirm that, yeah, they pay for auditions, which is what that was. And I met with Jazzy Collins, their casting director, who is ethereal. Like, truly. Yeah, like, oh my gosh, she's so kind, so lovely. And yeah, told her my story, and they didn't move forward, but what I found out was, and they did tell us, they told me the premise. I signed an NDA. The episode's out now, so this is fine. I can talk about it. It was the episode with the stand-up comedians yeah. So it was to be one of the red shirts in that audience and being like, ask me about my disability, like, you know. And they tell the transparency from the beginning. First interview was like, hey, they could make fun of you for this, so are you okay with that, like, and stuff. And like,
you're like, I make fun of myself all the time,
right. And so like, that's everyone that was there that day, like, luckily were people that knew exactly what was going to happen from the very beginning. So like, those red shirt things were mainly to make the stand-up comedians uncomfortable, not the people in the audience, because they already knew what was happening. But yeah, watching that episode was so fun to be like, yeah, could have been in that. Could have been. Like, yeah.
I could have had Jean-Marco make fun of my immune disease.
He could have talked to me about my tummy issues. No, for me it would have been like seeing Josh Johnson in person for free.
Oh, Josh. And now he's on
The Daily Show.
The Daily Show.
As he should. He deserves every good thing.
I have never met him, but he just seems like a good person. Yeah,
I haven't met him, so I can't like I'm not gonna be like, hey, good character, because with stand-up comedians you're not supposed to do that because of the bad rap a lot of them get. But he does seem like a really genuine person, and he's genuinely so funny too. Like,
Yeah,
the genuine humor that he has is just effortless.
it's so good. I'm
I'm a huge fan of him.
That's so funny. I love that so much. I I think I saw that casting and I was like, I looked at the dates and I was like, I can't make that happen. I think I might have been out of town. I think I might have been out of the country for that.
Yeah, it worked
And
out.
that's okay.
It worked out for me because that's when my flare-up happened. So
Oh no.
I probably would have dragged myself to it, but I wouldn't have been my best self.
You would have been like, try me.
I would have probably been sitting there like, come on, I can take it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
just full Palpatine. Taking it back to our Rebel Scam game.
Found some Tylenol. All right, let's do this.
Let's go. On that note, plug your shit. Tell people where they can find you, where you're at any day of the week.
Hey, some of it's home games, so you can't find it. You can find me mainly over on the Tales Guild, where I will be playing on alternating Wednesdays Sybil Holloway over on Tales of Ages, and then on alternating Sundays a Spelljammer campaign where I will be playing Dawn. Very, very fun character. And then on the other alternating Wednesdays, you can find me over on the Dice and Autism channel playing a Tales Guild Presents game called New Rollus. We are getting close to wrapping up that title game that formed the Tales Guild, so very, very excited for that. We'll be returning very soon at the time of this interview being posted, so please come check us out. And aside from that, I am over on Somebody's Heroes, the podcast, and I'm with the Fate Makers, and we'll be ramping up towards our finale, where we're going to be switching from purely audio to audio and video, where I play Aina, a temporal anomaly chronologist wizard using the disembodied lineage from Grim Hollow. And that's all right now. There's something, I don't know, I'm trying to think of this as something that's going to be announced yet at the time. It should be, so I'll say it. I am producing and being in, for the Tales Guild, a Hatchetfield actual play, using the Kids on Bikes 2nd edition system, and I am very excited because I'm the Hatchetfield like lore keeper for those Starkid shows, and I'll be playing Kaylee, who, if you don't know Hatchetfield and Starkid, you play very big, very larger than life characters, and so I wanted to play a character that you would hope to see die first in a horror movie. So it's Kaylee, EIGH at the end, and she's an influencer who's trying to DIY remodel her haunted house. So please.
I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is something you would see on TikTok.
Thank you.
I love that so much.
It's very fun. To those who know Hatchetfield and know Starkid, she bought the old Wayland place, which is a black altar and incredibly haunted in every way. So please check it out. That one is a huge passion project for myself and Madeline, aka the E-Goose Girl, who is running it. Our cast is lovely. We've got Sequo from the Tales Guild. We have Meadow, Howdy Love Darlin'. We have Click Clack Snack, and we have Sailor Scout Austin. And a dream cast for Hatchetfield.
Amazing cast. Amazing.
All people who love Hatchetfield, except Austin doesn't know Hatchetfield, so it's very fun to have Austin there to react to everything naturally. So I'm very excited for it. Please go check those out.
I can't wait. Oh my goodness. You can find all those links down below in the show notes. Speaking of finding people on the internet, you can find me everywhere on the internet at Shelly Von Miller, to include Patreon and Fourth Wall memberships, where you can get early access to these podcasts, as well as the lovely Patron Exclusive segment called Table Sets, which we're going to record right after this. outside of that, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, rate, whatever you do for your podcast hub that you listen to this on. And I love you guys very much, and I will see you on the internet. Goodbye!